the game itself had a very classic look to it.
Like a family innocent,
a family innocent drinking game where everyone gets drunk and spills their darkest secrets. Yeah, this sounds like a great time. Hey everyone, this is David Stark from Watch Your Pass. Today I'm talking to Alberto Belli, the director of Gatlopp, which is coming to digital on demand on June 16, 2022. It is a hilarious supernatural comedy that involves board games, friends, and deep dark secrets. We're going to talk to him right now. And while you're watching, if you can like and subscribe to this channel, that would be fantastic. I'll spend a lot. Thank you. So thanks so much for joining me. This is Alberto Belli, the director of Gatlopp, which is coming to digital on demand on June 16, 2022. It is a fun, ridiculous comedy, balls around the board game, but then there's also plenty of heart and plenty of drama involved as well. I really loved it. I was so inspired. There's a certain scene involving dance that I got ready for this. I got all set to pump and talk to you, Alberto. So let's get going.
Hi, David. Thanks so much for having me. I love your outfit.
Of course. Thanks so much. I mean, if a film inspires me, I like to try to make it fun. So I'm really excited to do this.
Thank you. Thank you.
So I guess the first thing I should say is fight on. And we should probably start with a shot. This is my USC shot glass. So fight on.
No, fight on. Yeah. I don't have a shot, but like, imagine I have one. Yeah.
A metaphorical shot. We'll go with that. So I love this film. It was kind of such a breath of fresh air and such a surprise. How did you get involved in this? How did you get onto this project? Because it seems just like a really great, fun indie project that also I just have no idea how it came about.
So Jim Mahoney, who wrote it, and he's also the co-star of the movie. We've been friends for a while, and then we did a short film together called "It's Not Porn, It's HBO" that changed our careers basically, and since then we've been wanting to work together since then. And then one day we were just catching up for coffee, and then he was telling me this crazy idea that he had, where he had just had like a drinking game night with his friends, which was crazy. And he was like, "How about that? Like Miss Jumanji, it could be something interesting." I was like, "Oh my god!" I was like, "I love that idea. Let's do it." So he wrote the script probably like in a year, and I was very lucky that by the end I was still attached as the director. So that's how I came about. Yeah.
That is awesome. And also that drinking game with friends, that seems like just a whole different time, right? That seems like
yeah.
Was this before the pandemic? Is this something that was kind of bubbling around for a while, or was this he was just bored and was like, I need a release, and then he made this, and then you all made this movie to kind of quell the craziness that was happening?
It was before the pandemic. So like we met, like he wrote it for a year. We were ready to go. I mean, at the beginning, we were supposed to shoot it literally ourselves during the weekends with our friends. And then we got really lucky that Jim Harris, the producer, got involved, and he was like, "I think we can make this, a little bit bigger." And we were about to shoot literally, and then the pandemic hit. So we had like to have like a pause. So we waited probably like 8 months before we went back and actually start shooting, which helped us, I guess, for pre-producing and also getting a great cast that probably they were busy, prior to the pandemic, so they would not be able to do this movie. So in the end, the pandemic kind of helped us.
It works out. It seems like everyone had time during the pandemic, so that definitely made it easier, but also more difficult, right? But this is kind of the perfect film for a pandemic movie. I mean, it takes place in essentially one location. It's a small cast, so it does really feel like a film that was, I'm sure nothing was easy, but it was probably, amenable to a pandemic filming.
For sure, yeah.
And the main subject in this movie is the board game, the Gatlopp board game. Where did you get that design? Was that something that Jim came up with, something you came up with, somewhere in between? How did you kind of build this horrible, wonderful device?
It was we worked together with like a designing house in Argentina, which they created the title sequence. Nice. And it was important to me to feel like it was old, but also like modern enough, like people will get excited to play it like today, because it's supposed to have this history without being too like made out of rock and all that stuff. Like it was supposed to feel like maybe from the 50s, maybe, which like now everything is coming back. And it was very important, like the shape for me, that it was like supposed to be round, because like like the game goes round and round and you don't get out of it. And little details, like there's a lot of details that we included, like at the beginning, the rectangles of the spaces are very square, and as you get drunker, they become a little bit more like crazier and crazier. There was a lot of I love designing the board game. It was one of my favorite probably things about the movie. Like, could you imagine designing your own board game? I was like, this is awesome.
Yeah, no, that sounds amazing. I imagine when I design, I'd be like, I have this really great idea, and then I try to translate, and I'd be like, it just seems like a bore. It's basically Monopoly, except now you drink. So, but no, I love all the little touches. I love the art, like the kind of. You're right. It had kind of a classic feel to the way the board game felt, even though the rules and kind of the drinking aspects felt very modern. But the game itself had a very classic look to it.
Like a family innocent,
Yeah. A family innocent drinking game where everyone gets drunk and spills their darkest secrets. Yeah, that sounds like a great time.
Exactly.
And so I loved the cast. You said that their schedules kind of opened up. How did you get them all involved? I know how Jim got involved, but how did the other castmates get involved? Because I loved all of them, and I love their camaraderie. They were really fun together.
Oh yeah, like I feel very lucky that we got like a cast that actually got together like from day one we were shooting. It was like, oh my god, you guys feel like you're best friends forever. Which they just met like they did like a minute before. I'm a huge fan of Umbrella Academy, so I was like, I really wanted to work with Emmy, and then I got very lucky that she was free, and then she also responded to the script, and that's how we got her involved. And then before the pandemic, we were actually casting people in person, and then once the pandemic hit, and then we just went straight to people we thought it was great for the role, and then John Bass came about. And then the same thing with Sarunas Jackson because of Insecure, and then like the casting directors I've been working with him before, and it was like, oh my god, he is great. So it was a lot of like at the beginning it was like more open casting, and then towards the pandemic it was more like, why we don't target these people who we would love to work with, and we got very lucky that everyone said yes.
That's awesome. That's how all indie films work, right? You just target the people you really want, and they say yes, and everything works out great.
Exactly, it's so easy. Make a movie so easy, guys.
Everyone can make a movie. And I really loved that the core group of friends, it was a pretty diverse group of friends. Like, there were different races. There was Emmy in there. Was that by design, or was that just something that kind of like came together when you're like, hey, I want to work with this person, they're great, and they just kind of happened to be just a diverse group of friends?
Yeah, that's for sure one thing. Like I'm from Mexico, so I'm very into diversity, but I also don't like forced diversity. Like it was never on the script. Like, oh, it has to be African American, it has to be whatever. Like it was just, I just really love Emmy, and I just really love Sarunas, and like I just really love John, and then they just happen to be the perfect for the role. Like doesn't, for me it's very important. Like it's not about the aspect of how people look. It's more about like why they bring the energy they bring to the table, and they definitely had like the right energy for the character.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, everyone kind of fit perfectly, and I loved how different each person was. Each person had a very kind of different mannerism and a different way to approach things. But when they all got together, those things kind of mixed, and also kind of had some tension in there. So it was fun to see.
Yeah.
And I also really loved the wall of Polaroids. How did you make that? Did you just have like one wild night with the cast, or did you just like where did those come from?
It was real. It was real photos from the not childhood because I'm not that young, but it was like real like photos from their, like they were willing to share. Like, so Brenda, the production designer, was very keen to make sure that it feel authentic. So we literally, they're like Facebook photos or like Instagram posts or whatever, and then we print them out. I think it's like a Polaroid printer, which I didn't know they existed until now, but like they print them out on that. Yeah.
I also didn't realize that you could get a Polaroid anyway other than just the old cameras. That's amazing.
I'm with you. Like, I don't know how it works. I think you just put the thing and then it like a printer, but it looks like it was taken from a Polaroid.
What will they think of next, right? And as you can tell, I loved the dance number. I was like shocked and surprised how like amazing it was, how amazing it looked, and how it all came together. One thing I was wondering though is, that was kind of like the biggest set piece that you had. Were there other set pieces that were either planned or filmed that didn't make it into the final cut? Because I would have loved to see some other just ridiculous situations that they all got in. Or was this, I mean, I know indie films are tough to make on a budget. So was this just like, this is all we got, let's go do it, and then we'll keep making the movie?
Yeah, I think probably not, like nothing was left on the cutting room. It was like we shot everything, and everything in the movie was there. And then the justice scene was always like we needed a break in between, like it's always like the house. So whenever we were supposed to go out, it should have been like something really fun and exciting. And we thought, I love musicals, so it was like, it sounds like the perfect idea, and that was basically where we put the energy into it. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense, and I completely understand. Like I've talked to lots of indie filmmakers, and it's just always like, this is how much we have. We have to work within this set, either timing or budget or just all sorts of constraints. Like indie filmmaking is not easy to do, so I completely understand that.
Yeah.
And speaking of the house, as we're kind of like most of this cut takes place, where did you find that house? Was it just was it someone's house that let you use, or did you like rent it? Like where was this wonderful, terrible location?
It was in Studio City, I think. Yeah. Like it was like we had like a location scout person, and we sent like a lot of houses, and we were supposed to actually shoot one in like Venice, since the story takes place in Venice. Like this like gorgeous like 10 million house that somehow like it was like not getting rented, and they were gonna let us shoot in there, but it fell in the end like very small. And then like this one had like, I feel like the perfect size. It was like not too big, not too small for the camera crew. It didn't feel like Cliff was like a millionaire, right? Like because then it's like easy usually when you have those houses in movies. They're like, how did can afford it? Like so it was like a nice house. It's like big but not too big, and then it was like great. And I think we take over like the 13 days we were shooting there. Yeah.
Oh wow, that is a tight schedule. That's amazing. Yeah. And also, I do like your logic there, because I think Cliff is supposed to be someone that he's endearing and you love him, but you feel a little bad for him. And if he was in this like $10 million Venice house, I don't think I would have been like, it was exactly. It was like, how does he have that place? Why do I live in this place?
Like how did it? Yeah.
Exactly. So I know we have limited time, so I'm going to switch. I call it the lightning round. They're just very lightweight questions about the film. I want to see how your personal experiences map to things that happened in the movie. You can feel free not to answer any of them. I will not be offended at all, but I try to keep them very answerable.
Okay.
The first question, I'm pretty sure I know the answer to this. A lot of this involves around living in LA and how amazing and terrible it is to live in LA. Have you lived in LA? I assume you have. I assume maybe you're living there right now.
Yeah, I'm living in LA right now. Yes.
Perfect. When was the last time you took a Polaroid picture?
Oh, probably like less than a year ago. My sister like gave me a Polaroid randomly for my birthday last year. So now every like special occasion I take a photo. So it was like my 3-year-old son's birthday. So we took a Polaroid probably like 2 months ago. Yeah.
That is brave, because given how many pictures I have to take of my kids to get one that's usable, like having a limited, finite physical set of pictures is very, very scary to me. Yeah. I love it. I love the conviction. When was the last time you played a board game?
Oh, probably like a long time, because now with the pandemic, I don't see friends, right? Or at least not. Probably like I'm gonna say like 3 years.
Yeah, I think I played like simple board games with my kids, but I haven't played any like involved board game. When was the last time you played a drinking game? Maybe it was during this film. I don't know.
Right, like I'm gonna say never. I've never played a drinking game. Isn't that crazy?
Wow. So I mean, but you didn't do like some research into this before you started filming?
I should have like done that drinking.
Yeah, next time for the sequel, right? For the sequel, you can get better prepared.
Hopefully we get a sequel, but yes. Yeah.
I would love to see that. Have you seen Apocalypto?
No. Oh, Apocalypto, the movie? Yes. Yeah, of course. Yeah.
I loved that. I love that scene also.
It's so good. Like I thought it was hilarious. I was like, I don't know how many people actually saw Apocalypto, but I love that reference.
So yeah, the lines were amazing there. When was the last time you chugged a beer?
I'm gonna say like a year.
Seems like somewhere in the pandemic, you're like, I just need to get over this, and just boom. Right?
Exactly. Like say something.
Do you have a credenza?
I do.
Oh, like, wow. Your credenza wasn't in the film, was it?
No.
Like, okay, yeah. Much less colorful, but much nicer. Yeah.
But like there's a credenza.
I love it. That's perfect. Do you have a recipe that you make that people would describe as like similar to a crack cookie, like something that everyone craves when you make it?
No, I don't think I'm a good cook.
You didn't up those skills during the pandemic when no one could go outside?
No.
What was the last thing that you said to your mom or dad, either parent?
Yeah, I mean, I spoke with them yesterday. I guess like ciao. They're from Italy, so I said ciao, and then hung up.
I was wondering because your name is Alberto Belli, but since you're born in Mexico, I wasn't sure what that was, if it was Belli or Belli. So
yeah, it's Belli, and like I was born in Mexico. My parents are Italian. Yes. Yeah.
Got it. Awesome. And the last question is: can you describe your favorite movie without using words? Let's go.
Oh God. Okay.
Jurassic Park.
Yes,
Jurassic
there you
Park. Yay, we won. Not going to hell. Yeah.
We're not good. We're get saved.
Excellent. Yeah. Yes, we can leave this game. This interview is not going to go on forever, although it is a very fun interview. I do like talking to you. So the film is out on June 16, 2022, digitally on demand, so people can check it out in the comfort of their home. Hey, maybe do it during their board game night. It's a really funny film. You're out promoting it. What else can people look for from you after they see this movie? I know you also directed an episode of Ultraviolet and Black Scorpion, which is fantastic, but anything else people can look for?
Thank you. I'm editing a Christmas Disney Plus movie that comes out probably next year. We're still unsure, but yeah, it's an action adventure, kind of like Ocean's 11 for kids. Like, what happens if the naughty kids don't get their presents and then they decide to steal from Santa? So it's this like very big action adventure into Santa's village. So I'm very excited for that. Yeah.
That sounds awesome. And yeah, when you said Christmas movie, I did not think action adventure. So I am very excited to see this.
Oh yeah, it has a lot of. I'm so excited for that one. Like, it's a dream come true, that one for sure. Yeah.
That's amazing. Awesome. Well, so you can look for that next year, and you can also check out Gatlopp, which is coming to digital on demand on June 16, 2022. This is Alberto Belli, the director. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, David. Such a fun interview. I love all your questions. So thank you.
Thank you. Glad to hear that. That was Alberto Belli, the director of Gatlopp, which is coming to digital and on demand on June 16, 2022. It is a supernatural indie horror comedy movie that involves board games, a lot of fun, a lot of ridiculous, and deep, deep, dark secrets. It is really fun. I really liked it. I can't recommend it enough. If you like this interview, please like and subscribe to this channel. It helps me out a lot. Make sure all my new content goes straight to you. And please check out my other content for this movie specifically. I have a review of Gatlopp up, and I also have an interview with Jim Mahoney, the writer and co-star of this movie. So check those out, please. And thank you so much.